Thank you for joining this HITEC Live. If we have not met, my name is Susana Ramirez, and I'm the Executive Director of HITEC. We will kick off our presentation here in just a moment, but I wanted to let you all know that this session is being recorded. Just like all of our past HITEC Lives, we have an archive of our presentations, which you can find on our YouTube channel. We'll definitely throw the link in the chat so that you have access to that. But for today, let's get going with our current HITEC Live. I want to welcome everybody again. If we haven't met, my name is Susana Ramirez. I am going to add to the chat my LinkedIn so that we can connect. Part of the series of the HITEC Lives is really important. Is the connection that we can create for this community. If this is your first time here, we really encourage you to introduce yourself, add your LinkedIn. This is a great opportunity to network. This virtual series is an opportunity to bring together the technology community, but most of all, for each of us to grow. Our sessions are informal conversations where we get together to hear from our partners and community members on the topics such as technology, leadership, and everything in between. Today, our partners at Cummins are leading the discussion, exploring how Cummins Digital keeps innovating on software-defined vehicles and how their expansion into software development empowers customers, innovation, digital solutions, and enhance operational efficiency. To lead the discussion, I am so honored to welcome one of our great partners, Juan Francisco Medina, IT leader, components and software, and also Marcela Bernardi, Senior Director of Powertrain Digital Engineering. I invite you to take it away now, Juan.
Thank you. Thanks for the HITEC family to allow Marcela and I to have some conversation with you about what we're doing. But I think before we start that, I will allow Marcela to introduce herself. So Marcela.
Yes. Hey, everyone. As it was mentioned, my name is Marcela Bernardi. I'm originally from Brazil. 13 years ago is when I moved to the US. I started my career back at Cummins in Brazil as an intern. It was 18 years ago. I was doing controls engineers, and for the latest 10 plus years of my career, I've been in the analytics, data analysis field, and for the last few years, leading the digital organization for the engine business unit. So really nice, great to see you. And Armando, if you can put on the presentation mode. Francisco, do you want to take next?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, after Marcela, I will introduce myself. My name is Juan Francisco Medina. I'm originally from Mexico. Yeah, I've been working for Cummins 22 years, actually. And I started in Mexico, in San Luis Potosí. That's center Mexico town. Cummins has a big presence there. So I started there 22 years ago in one of the business units called Filtration. That, by the way, is now it was a spin-off company called Atmos Filtration that you can find in New York stock market stickers. We have I have been working in several positions in IT. All of them have been closer to business. My passion really is to deliver solutions through technology. My latest position is leading the IT organization for Cummins Components and Software, which is one of the BUs that we have in the component business in Cummins. So I think with that, we will kick off the conversation. I think we have a couple of problems with the presentation, but we'll start soon.
Sorry about that. It's my bad.
No problem, Armando.
Can you see now the presentation mode?
No, not yet.
No.
Maybe we can just browse it, right? If there's any technical issues there. Yeah, now we can see it. Thank you.
I'll do it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I will start providing a background of Cummins. That's the first section of the presentation. I want to show what we do, what are the products in the market that we work on, that we serve, and also talk about very high level about what is SDV, what is the concept, what that means for commercial vehicles, and then Marcela is going to go deeper on what are the solutions that we are driving in Cummins, preparing for SDV for commercial vehicles, which is our market. Just a little bit of history. Cummins was founded in 1919. It was originated as a partnership. I would say it's an unusual partnership. W.G. Irwin was a banker in Indiana, and he, at some point, I think it was 1908, he hired a mechanic and a driver, which is Clessie Cummins. Clessie had a lot of passion about mechanics. He saw a view, or he found an opportunity in diesel engines being utilized for day-to-day vehicles. He shared that vision with W.G. Irwin, which was a banker and investor, and they decided to partner and create Cummins in 1919. That was 106 years ago. I will provide you some data so you can see the big difference that has happened in those over 100 years. When they released their first engine in the market, so 6 horsepower was the initial engine that Cummins released to the market. Today, our biggest or one of our biggest engines can produce more than 5,000 horsepower, and it's being used in mines or locomotives or vessels, right? So it's a big way from the time that they creating this partnership. But I think the vision and even some of the values that they set when they created Cummins are still there. W.G. Irwin was one great believer on diversity. There's stories about what was his vision on many heads and many backgrounds, creating the best solutions for the market, and that is still with us. So with that, I will transition to the mission, vision, and values. I will read the mission and vision, and I will share some stories about values and how I see that from Cummins' perspective. Our mission is to make people's lives better by powering more prosperous world. That is our simple mission that we have, but it talks about what is our purpose in this market, what is the purpose in the world. Our vision is innovating for our customers to power their success. So we consider ourselves a power generation company. We believe in innovation, and that is embedded here in the vision that you see there. Our values are very, very important. Whenever we have, just to make it personal, right? Whenever I have performance reviews every year, it's important the what, right? What was delivered, but it's also as important the how, and that talks about values. We are also rated in terms of our performance on how we display these values whenever we're delivering our work. So it's pretty important for us. It's something that we live day to day, and I truly believe that curiosity is what brings people to Cummins, but these values make people to stay, and we have several examples, right? We heard the number of years that Marcel and I have been staying in the company. Values are extremely important for us. Leadership culture, again, is something that is being taken seriously. We believe on people achieving their maximum potential, their full potential. And our brand promise talks about innovation and talks about dependability. The value that we deliver to our customers is exactly that, right? They depend on their equipment to be up as much as time as possible and as cost effective as possible. Also meeting the strict regulations that we have in the different countries in terms of emissions, and that cannot be achieved without innovation. And then Destination Zero is our current strategy that talks about how we support our customers to transition into cleaner energies, cleaner forms of energies, but also at the same time how we support the world, right, humanity on reducing the greenhouse gas emissions and to have a cleaner world. So our commitment is both to our customers and to our communities too. Next slide, please. These are a few numbers. I think the relevant thing here is we are a global company. We have around 70,000 employees in several countries. We have an extensive network of dealers, and we have an extensive network of distributors. So that helps us to really stay close to our customers, understand what is important for them, and serve them better. The other number that I wanted to highlight here is this $1.4 billion in investment in research and technology. We're committed in innovating. We're committing to deliver the best that we can to our customers based on the most current technologies that serve the needs that they have. We have 5 operating segments, and of course we have the engine business, which is our core business today. We have on-highway and on-highway applications. I will talk about that. We have a big range also of duties. We call medium duty and light duty. Some of the engines that are smaller, heavy duty, are the engines that are higher, that have applications like the one that I started with in mining and vessels and trains. We have power systems. Power systems is our power generation business. We use our engines to generate electricity, and that has, again, a wide range of applications, from remote mines in South America that they don't have access to electricity grid, and they need to generate their own electricity, to our newest business or our growing business of data centers, where we provide backup power for the data centers of the big names in technology like Microsoft or Amazon, right? We have also vertical integrations. We have a components business, which is kind of a upstream integration. We have, in this business unit, we create the components that go inside the engines, but also we create components that integrate into powertrain. So it's engines, think about engines, think about transmissions, think about axles and brakes. We provide all these components to our business partners, to the commercial vehicles OEMs, and we also have a distribution business. As I was saying, service and understanding our customer needs are as important to us as delivering hardware, right? Delivering engines and delivering parts to our customers. The newest addition to this segment is Accelera. Accelera is our electrification business unit. This shows our commitment to our Destination Zero strategy. And also this shows our commitment to innovation, right? We are understanding what are the energies and how that energy can drive the power that is required for the vehicles of the future, for the applications that our customers need for the future. In terms of applications, I already talked about several applications for our customers. I will just try to relate you, right, to specific applications that we see in the market. For example, you can see the Dodge 2500, right? The Ram 2500 that is powered by a Cummins engine.
You're muted, Francisco.
Okay, thank you. We're so dependable that we have a 1 million mile club in the pickup business. So we we show, right? We show that dependability, that uptime, and that durability that we promise to our customers. Other applications, electrolyzers are one of the newest additions to our portfolio. That is basically hydrogen generation, and that is again shows our commitment to a cleaner environment, but also to solve customers' requirements in terms of energy transition. And I already talked about power generation, right? We also provide energy backup to the data centers that are driving today things like artificial intelligence. I already talked about our Destination Zero strategy, right? I have been talking about that. Is something that is our current strategy. We are committed to it. And key levers there are understanding of our customer and customer needs. We know the power business. We know what customer needs, and we also are committed to improve the environment, reduce our greenhouse emissions, and also keep innovating to serve our customers and to reduce those emissions. Yeah, this is just another example, right, of our transitional technology. Our engines now are capable to use different fuels. It's not only diesel. We're transitioning to have what we call fuel agnostic engines. That means that the same base engine, which is the red part that you see in those engines, is being used commonly, and then we change the top part of the business to manage either diesel fuels or gas or hydrogen. So that, again, that's our commitment to serve our customers, to reduce emissions, and to meet the specifications that the different countries set in terms of emissions for their countries. Well, thanks a lot for hearing all this background about Cummins. I think people that in Cummins were passionate about our company. We truly believe that on the company, and we are proud Cummins people. So that is how I spent that much time talking about Cummins. It was important for me to understand what we do. We'll start talking about software-defined vehicles, and when we talk about this, is basically a new paradigm. So far, in terms of cars, in terms of even commercial vehicles, the most important thing is hardware, right? Hardware drives the horsepower that we're talking about. Hardware drives the efficiency that I'm talking about, and also the cost optimization that I'm talking about. In terms of the in terms of cars, right? In terms of public transportation, in terms of the vehicle that we use day to day, that paradigm is changing. Right now, people is expecting their cars to have more features, to be delivered quicker, and that is driving this software-powered vehicle concept. Well, the changes that are being seen is that now hardware is becoming less relevant. Hardware is becoming more an enabler or features and capabilities that users are expecting, and software is the one that will drive the value. And that is the change in paradigm that is driving, for now, the passenger vehicles, but is also starting to influence the strategy in the commercial vehicles, the commercial vehicles market, which is the market that serves Cummins. If you think about software-defined vehicles, I have heard several things, right, about it. One, just to make it relate easier, they talk about SDVs as smartphones on wheels, for example, or really transforming vehicles in an experience, right? Instead of just being something that takes you from point A to B, software will enable an experience for users that can be allowed to get into the vehicle, know that they will still can go from point A to point B, but they can experience something different in terms of entertainment, if that is what they want to do, or something different in terms of, for example, even working, right, and have your car autonomously get to the point B that you intend to go. So that is driving this shift in paradigm. Software-defined vehicle is also driving a different way on how we deliver products. Hardware, in terms of engines and hardware, is a very sequential way to design products around emissions, create and design those products, test those products, and deliver those products. So it takes long time and is mostly a sequential way to deliver features. In the software-defined vehicles, the paradigm change to be much more agile, and that is what the users or vehicles are expecting initially in these passenger cars, but that is also influencing how we are thinking in the commercial vehicles in terms of enabling more features that create value for our customers. So I think with that is the high-level concept of software-defined vehicles. And now Marcela is going to talk about specifically what Cummins is doing and how we are thinking about it. So Marcela.
Yeah. So now that you heard the software-defined vehicle definition, let's get a bit tactical here. The reality is Cummins started in the engine business, but due to acquisitions, development, huge investments, the reality is our powertrain system keeps increasing. Once again, I am in the engine business, so my position and expertise, or at least the content I'm going to be sharing, it's quite biased into the engine business, but I think it's quite relatable to the other business and even with industry. And in this specific slide, now you can sense the complexity that we are talking about, okay? So what you're seeing here are multiple components. And if you take a step back, right, digital is part of this powertrain system and it's embedded to it. And a proof of that is my role and the organization that I'm leading. It is part of the system. It is not an app that you sell. It's connected from it. The value comes on embedding it. Now, before I continue talking about software-defined vehicle, let me take a bit of a step down here. I started my career, or even before that, when I was choosing what to do at school. I still remember the conversation that I had with my grandma, where I said, "Grandma, I want to become a mechanical engineer." And she looked at me and said, "Why? Why are you going to be always dirt? Why are you doing that?" And folks, I'll be honest, early in my career, I felt like the guy in the left here, truly. But over the years, the reality of the images, this is already a reality. Technology, digital, has enabled us to be more efficient, to create extra insights. So that is the reality, that where before we needed the paper troubleshooting steps from the exaggerated generated AI image from the left to where we are today, where the computers are enabling and empowering us. So it's thanks to this enablement that software-defined vehicle is and will become a reality for Cummins and the industry. It is a journey, right? And I'm gonna walk you through how we are stepping toward it. But I do want to realize that it's a journey and the journey has started, okay? So how it works today. Today, we are so connected, software and hardware. So the truck is in its best condition when it leaves the plant. What it means is that the current software architecture is quite hand-to-hand defined with the hardware. you can see the different little squares. They represent the different models, the different ECMs, the different ECUs, depending on how you call. That means that the capability is so silent today. Although Cummins has put it together in the powertrain so we can optimize it, the reality is we are not vertically integrated. So we require integration with the vehicle, with our OEM partners, right? So that complexity can be reduced if we can take some of those boundaries as represented today in these software containerized buckets. So reducing the amount of hardware and connectivities to be linked, as well as disconnecting the hardware cycle from the software cycle. That is what this is what software-defined vehicle capability will enable us. So we develop and integrate powertrain control containerized into a software-defined vehicle platform, get away from the waterfall approach to a literally more software-defined agile approach. So even after it's in production, we are able to update and do improvements. Now, why? Why do we have to migrate to software-defined vehicle? Why it is not okay to just keep doing what we've been doing for 106 years, right? Because we have new challenges ahead of us, or I would say new opportunities. Safety, right? So we want this advanced driver assistance, right? That will make a safer drive, easier drive for us. Drivability. We want more personalization. And for that, we need this asset information. We need to know about you. We need to know what you do. What is your style of driving? Again, that's where the software-defined vehicle and digital is a key enabler. We want to do performance. I think we all know how fuel economy, for example, optimization is a key differentiation, especially in Latin America, China, and other countries. Emissions, it's always a good way for us to pace in this industry. So the off-cycle technology, hybrid powertrains, there is emissions, new opportunities in this field. Uptime, the ability to do maintenance, prognostics, fix issues. Modularity, right? Deploy new features, even if we were not able to have it narrowed down at the launch date, at the production date, this infrastructure would allow us to do improvements after the set point of sale. And last but not least, the cybersecurity. It's an evergreen environment, right? The new cybersecurity functional and architecture requirements, they are being defined as we go. We cannot afford the old way of doing requirements again in the waterfall 5+ years of cycle. The world has changed. Technology is changing such a fast pace. And so it needs to be our development, our product development and integration. And that's the journey that Cummins is in. Now, digital is already a building block toward that future. And what I have in this slide is real. It is in production today. Okay. And on the left side, you can see some of these examples of what I mean with how digital is enabling software-defined vehicle. Maintenance, for example, the ability to get the data today. The most proactive way to get this data is through telemetry, but there are other ways. Okay, we do have a way to extract data via service tools, for example. Again, the data gets to our cloud and we are able to transform those insights into a more better real-time monitoring and advanced analytics to improve your experience. Same with performance, right? So the calibration over there, the data of trims towards fuel economy, right? That's another way of helping and using this data. Optimized diagnostics, it's the ability to do the troubleshooting tree. So the image that you saw, we can get out of the books that says do step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through this vision where when you have a lamp in your dash, we can tell you how to fix it. right away, or you can go to the service shop and the technician can, instead of doing 7 or 8 steps, he or she will be assigned to do the likely step. We're going to change the order of the troubleshooting tree so you can have it, fix it right at the first time. And last but not least, the prognostics. That's even more proactive. Imagine you go to the shop because you have a lamp, and while you are there replacing something, we already are able to change a sensor or a part because we know it will fail in 60 days or so. So everything that you see on the left side is a reality, okay, for the models that are applicable and support telemetry and this technology. Now, the beauty of it is the win-win approach that you see on the right side. The customer gains with it, or OEM gain with it, and our product and quality of Cummins product gain with it. Okay, so this is the whole ecosystem, and this is where we are today. As software-defined vehicle evolves, and so will the digital capability, I just want to demystify something, right? A lot of times people say digital is equal to telemetry. I want to show this image that shows you that telemetry is part of the digital ecosystem. So telemetry will be a key enabler as well for the software-defined vehicle ecosystem. And just to give some extra insights here, the ecosystem, it happens in multiple ways. Number one, you can have embedded knowledge in the hardware. So you could have decisions embedded. Or you can extract some of this data and make decisions on the cloud. And this is where the insights are generated under number 4. This is where generative AI is a lot of times applicable as we speak. This is where we do a machine learning. This is where we do the data science. So a lot happens on those decisions. And then we close the loop with number 5. So this is then when we tell a service technician via service tool that they have an opportunity to replace a part. Or this is where we tell end customer, right, what is a fault code that they have active. And again, all of this ecosystem is evolving through the new regulations, cybersecurity regulations to secure this ecosystem. So in conclusion, it's a long journey, right? And Cummins history, it has positioned, and investments will continue to position us to evolve as we go through this journey. We are sure, right, that this knowledge, this technology, and the partnership with OEMs connected with the evergreen technology and curiosity research that we are doing is empowering and positioning us for success. And I wanted just to thank you all for your attention. Francisco, do you want to add anything for this closing slide here before you're mute?
Oh, thank you, Marcela. Thanks. Yeah, I agree. We are thinking on this. We are creating strategies on this, but also we are preparing our skills, right? This will require different skills than a traditional, I would say, manufacturing company has. We have been working on this for several years in terms of embedded software for our ECMs, for example. But we will continue to go deeper in technology that will help us to enable these capabilities for our customers and meet their expectations, just as we have been meeting them for 106 years. So thanks, Marcelo. I think with that, we are open for questions.
So we did have one submitted, and it is, I'm not sure, Marcela or Juan Francisco, which one of you would like to take it, but can you explain what Cummins' strategy is for monetizing software-defined vehicle capabilities and services?
Yeah. So I think that's a good question. And in reality is software-defined vehicle will be a product differentiation, right? So at this point, even the digital aspect of it is not being monitorized. Francisco, do you have anything else to add to this one?
No, I think I agree, Marcelo. So far, the relevance of software for us is enabling the hardware that we sell, right? That's how we see software today. But we are actively discussing that in these sessions for the use. We know that there's a big opportunity there, but we also know that this is a big opportunity for OEM partners, right? So we need to team with them and see where we can add value and also where we can create value for our own company.
But as of now, we are not monitorizing the digital capability
Correct.
sections. That's what I meant. And the software-defined one is being assessed, as Francisco mentioned.
Great, thank you. Then another was, what are the key factors to contributing to the apparent lead of passenger vehicle industry in integrating diverse components for software-defined vehicles, comparing that with the commercial truck industry?
Yeah, I can take a first attempt to answer that. I think it's different customers and different expectations. Passenger vehicles, it's day-to-day users, it's people like us, right? And we are looking for different experiences. Yes, I think common things are that we're looking to safely go from point A from point B, but expectations on the experience inside the vehicle for passenger vehicles has been increasing. We want more entertainment while we transport ourselves from point A to point B. We want more autonomous driving. That is also increasing expectation. And in terms of the commercial vehicles, I think the expectation hasn't changed in terms of the value that we deliver. That is basically low cost and uptime. That is what still our customers require, right? They want their equipment to be in uptime as much as time as possible, and also to operate their vehicles, operate their trains, their mines at the lowest cost possible. So that is, I think, what is driving the different pace on adopting these technologies. But again, just as Marcela is describing, we see value, especially partnering with our current customers and OEMs, and we're thinking on strategies to realize that value for them and for us too.
I think there is as well a centralized architecture today that is making it harder for the engine business, or at least the powertrain system, to migrate there. And there is always the regulation aspect, right? That it's paced differently than passenger car. But I think although there is this delay, I think it's the reality that we are in this new journey there as well. Melissa, you have a question?
Good afternoon. Yes, I would like to know how does Cummins approach staying at the forefront of innovation and market trends with the rapidly evolving software-defined vehicle landscape?
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
How does Cummins, sorry, my microphone is okay?
Yes, it's
How
working.
does Cummins approach staying at the forefront of innovation and market trends within the rapidly evolving software-defined vehicle landscape?
So let me take a stab here, Francisco. I think by working really, really close with the OEM, understanding the global landscape, I think we didn't mention that even the cybersecurity and regulations, they are different depending on the region that we are in. And for our scalability and sustainability, right, we are really looking for those global architectures so we can be easily deployed. So through these investments and global architecture mentality, that's how Cummins is approaching. Francisco, anything else?
Yeah, what I can tell you is that it's driving us to look at different technologies now. I think we know that we need to strengthen from technology standpoint, right? Our cloud, how we use cloud, the amount of data that we can acquire and use in data models and artificial intelligence. Things like containerization. So it's driving us to explore technology that I think in the last few years we didn't have the need to explore. The other thing that this is driving is to make us more agile creating software. We have been creating software for our engine control units for 30 years already, right? But the paradigm is changing in the sense of the expectations on delivering features through software have been increased in terms of both complexity and speed. We are being required to deliver those features again more with increasingly complexity and quicker. So that is also changing the way we create the software that we need to create for our engine control units. We have been acquiring more agile ways to do things. Agile methodologies is now part of our day-to-day life in terms of that software development. And we are also thinking in terms of software engineering, what are the right skills that we require in the future? Did we answer your question, Melissa?
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
We have several questions that were added to the chat. So the first is, what technology or skill do you think is fundamental to start with digitalization? For example, we know that we can't start with AI if we don't have a good data strategy.
It's a good one. So what technology? So yes, we need data. The one thing that Cummins has realized is to differentiate, we need to leverage from the proprietary data. That is our IP, right? That is our recipe book. So having public, that everyone has access right to the can, as well as this proprietary data in conjunction with our software, with our hardware expertise and the 100 years of SMEs, right? Software expertise and hardware expertise. I think that is the secret sauce for Cummins. So yes, having the right data, understanding the dynamic of the product from a physics base, now that embedded and combined with technology, AI, I think this is where we are positioning ourselves to differentiate. How are we doing that? Providing training, right? So we have a program called Self-Service Data Science. So we are providing training for our engineering group, right? So they can get those skills to manage the data easily. Another solution has been creation of tools, right? So it can be easier for them to access this so much data in a more clear way. But now with generative AI, that is just taking it to the whole new level, right? So it's enabling us to ask questions and slice the dice, the information in multiple ways. So I know I gave a few internal examples, but I think as we unveil those opportunities, what the customer sees is a better quality, easier to integrate, easier to diagnose a product.
Great. The next, I think you just answered. It says, are you planning to use the power of AI to enhance these software-driven solutions? And from your last response, it seems like that's already taking place.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And then from Lena, where does Cummins stand in digitalization versus main competitors?
And Kelly, I just wanted to answer also a little bit or extend the answer that Marcela gave. I think Marcela is very, very involved, right, in creating these algorithms that will help us to diagnose or provide that diagnostic of our engines in terms of failures and such, and that is kind of the product side of the or the product end of the value chain. We are also exploring AI to help us to generate code quicker, and it's still in exploration. But we know that big industries, big companies like Microsoft, Facebook, etc., they are utilizing AI to optimize coding, and we are in the way to explore that technology too. So AI is being leveraged in both the value delivery part for our customers, but also in the back end to generate the software that we need.
So related to how we are compared to the competitors, I think it depends, right? On the digital aspect, for example, we have, because that's the unique position of Cummins, right? We are providers and we are competing as well with a lot of the OEMs who are providing the powertrain, and it varies. So there are some who are doing better calibration over there, right? There are some others who are doing a better trim updates. As of now, Cummins it's ahead on the prognostics aspect, the one that we are predicting before it happens, and we are paying for warranty claims, right? So we pay for the replacement when under warranty because we are so confident out of this data and the fact that the part that will fail. So I think the answer, unfortunately, is it depends, and Cummins is ahead in some of the features, but not as much in others. But we are always checking and try to do the best cost benefit and assessment for Cummins and the customers.
It sounds like we've had an amazing discussion with many follow-up questions. That's one of the most enriching parts about this HITEC Live is the ability to peek under the curtain, if you will, at other organizations and what they're doing and thinking about technology. I want to thank you all for joining us today. We hope that you found this session as valuable as we did. Before you go, we ask that you take a few moments to complete the quick survey link that will be added to the chat. Your feedback really does help us improve and continue to provide content that matters to you. Of course, next week, we hope that you'll be joining us in person at the Spring Leadership Summit hosted by Citi in New York. We look forward to seeing you there. If you are not going to be there in person, then please, I hope you attained your virtual code so you can join us virtually. That is also an enriching experience. So we look forward to seeing you soon next week. And thank you very much again to our panelists, Juan and Marcela. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Armando Duran, for everything that you do for this partnership and for HITEC in general. We thank you all and have a great rest of your afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure to be
Bye-bye.
here.